Thank you for joining us here on the Word of Encouragement here on this Wednesday. How things are interesting in these days. I've said this several times, but several years ago during COVID when we started this, just to be an encouragement, never would I have thought that things would get more difficult, that the world scene, the domestic scene would just increasingly cause great heartache for us as believers. But it's true, and obviously things are going to be very difficult in the days ahead. And yet God is so good. He blesses and He takes care of us. And I do want us all to stay encouraged day by day. Psalm 46 is, of course, a wonderful psalm of blessing and encouragement. It starts off with, God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Therefore will not we fear, though the earth be moved, and though the mountains be carried into the midst of the sea. And on it goes. Then it speaks of the great blessing of the Lord of hosts is with us. But I want to go down to a very familiar verse, but it's fairly important when it comes to this matter of having the right spirit during difficult times. Verse 10, be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the heathen. I will be exalted on the earth. And then the psalmist goes back to God is our refuge. Be still. Friends, there's nothing that will encourage you more than to know that He is God. There will be nothing that will meet the deep need of your heart than the very presence of God as you understand the Word, as He illumines it to you, and then through the Spirit of God makes Himself very real to you. But the matter of being still, that's a problem in our modern day world. We are distracted beyond what anyone could have imagined 50 years ago, especially 100 years ago. The art of being still, listening to the Lord, quietly being in the Word, putting aside all technology, genuinely making the spiritual the most important in your life. That's something that is very rarely done among believers. And yet for those believers who take the time to know their God, who take the time to be still and to know His presence, to have truth come and flood the soul and to meet the need of the heart and cause us to think right, it's to those believers that God is able to work. And what happens then is you focus on God and you realize no matter how the heathen are raging around you, He's going to be exalted among the heathen. Even though the world seems so big, He will be exalted in the earth. The Word of God tells us that, but we become convinced of it when we are having that special time with God. Oh, I'm telling you, it's just a thrill when you go from the human thinking of what you're facing, the sense sometimes of the oppression of Satan as he tries to make things so big, and they are big, but to then be quiet and realize you're okay. God's on the throne. The Word of God is true. God knows each of us that are His, and He loves us, and He will take care of us, and He's going to win. He's going to be exalted among the heathen. Doesn't matter all of this international problems, and especially there in the Middle East and all the other things that are extremely concerning. Doesn't matter about all the things. God is above all, and He will be exalted. He will win, and He will be exalted in this earth. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our refuge. And it's so important for us to have that deep confidence in our soul as to the greatness of our God and what He's going to do, but that will only come if we're still and know that He is God.